kind of like how the movie's like presented as if it's like a traditional 35mm print.
Yeah, it's pretty cool aesthetic choice.
Yeah, because you
For
know.
some reason, this reminds me of like Animal Horror as well. You know why?
Yeah, this is him at Disney. So Tim Burton did.
Hi, Tim. This is Tim Burton. Another one of our people here.
I like to draw much more than I like to watch cartoons. You know, I mean, I was probably like anybody. I don't think I watch them any more than anybody else. You know, so the influence for me has more to do with liking to draw than like watching cartoons. Because when I was doing them, I didn't. You know, when I was doing animation, I actually didn't enjoy it very much. It's too. The patience, I don't have enough patience for it.
Relatable.
Johnny! The artist who works in this room is a sculptor named Rick Heinrichs. The studio teamed him with an imaginative sketch artist named Tim Burton. And the combination has come up with some delightful concepts and characters. I'll let them show you. Hi, Rick. Would you mind telling us what you're working on?
Sure. Tim and I have been working on developing some live action as well as animation projects at Disney. We've developed this guy for a Halloween-oriented project, which Tim designed the characters for and conceptualized.
Well, basically, the way that we work is that I'll do a drawing, something like this, and from that, Rick will make a sculpture of it, like this, and then beyond that point, whatever medium we use, in this case it's building a costume. The process continues that way. I'll do a drawing, something like this, and then Rick will do a sculpture, and then from there it would be built into a live set.
Another project that Tim and I worked on together was an experiment with stop motion animation for which I took Tim's designs and created puppets in three-dimensional sets. For the animation, there was different ways we could have handled it, and we did both bending wire armatures to make the characters move, as well as replacement animation, which is what this represents. It is a cycle of a walking cat, and we would just simply replace the body over the legs for each of the separate phases through the 24 frames a second of film, and that gave the illusion of the cat walking along the wall of the film.
Vincent Malloy is 7 years old. He's always polite and does what he's told. For a boy his age, he's considerate and nice. But he wants to be just like Vincent Price.
To animate Jack's facial expressions and mouth movements, the animators used hundreds of hand-sculpted replacement heads.
So every time he makes a different mouth position, you know, A, E, I, O, U, and then everything in between, and then in a mad way, or a sad way, or a happy way, or a neutral way, we have to have a whole different sculpt of the head. We might use as many as 400 distinctly different Jack heads. Voices are read on exposure sheets so we know precisely when to change a mouth position.
Oh, somewhere deep inside of these bones and emptiness.
Like I remember in like Tony Million, like I think he was in the barn where he's sort of behind the character and he's kind of coming and he's going through the shadows. I mean, it's, you know, that's as good as anything, you know, gets, you know.
grew up watching monster movies. My parents told me before I could walk or talk that I loved monsters, and I was never afraid of them. Always related to them, and I think as everybody, depending upon their upbringing, gravitates to something, I gravitated towards monsters because I felt connected to them somehow. I often have real trouble the lines between what's real and not real. I mean, some of the most surreal things are things that actually happen, and so the line to me is always very blurred. I think that fantasy and reality oftentimes is very gray, and what's normal versus not normal is always very gray, and you can be in reality and take a step into fantasy and not know it sometimes, that line is always very blurred to me.